Hola, buenos días, soy Nico.
What's going on? What are you doing?
Deal's off.
Off?
What's with the pictures? These are for the tabloids. Smile?
Tabloids?
Think I'll leak them to the Post first. Morning shows will pick the story up in a second.
And today we're here for another wonderful week's worth of content. Well, yes. If you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive videos, weekly live streams, and be a part of the live streams where we have multifaceted conversations with a varied panel depending on the week. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in. The Patreon exclusive is basically about a story of a collaboration with someone I considered a friend that basically altered the way I view collaborating with people I have a personal and intimate relationship with off camera. If that sounds interesting to you, definitely tune in. And last video's comment was essentially over the whole getting caught cruising by grabbing someone that was uninterested scenario. And it basically said the cop must have been fine for him to risk it all like that. And I completely agree. If someone told me I am not interested, I'm simply on my hike, and you continuously try to get at me and then physically grab me, you have lost your mind. But some people have also brought up in the comments how we can't necessarily take what the police say as pure fact, seeing as how they do disproportionately target Black and brown people within our country for miscellaneous crimes. But at the same time, cruising, like there's a specific, like you can't just arrest somebody because they're lollygagging in a park or a trail. So I feel like there's more to it. But with that being said, let's get on to the actual conversation. Today, we're going to be talking about how the industry is continuing to platform predators. Nico, what do you mean? It is coming from a studio that is well established in the fetishization of Black men, basically called BlackBoyAddictionz. Nico, I'm sure all of you have your favorite scenes, your favorite performers. It is a studio that goes back a good amount of time, but they are currently in a lot of public backlash because when they were debuting a new scene, they said that there will be a special guest and for everyone to be excited for what's about to come next. And the fans of the series were head over heels when they found out that a fan favorite named Dominic had returned to the platform. Though the people that knew why he returned to the platform actively began to speak out. Nico, what do you mean? So, if you did not know, Dominic's name is Montel Waters. Nico, don't worry, I am not doxing him. This is actually from a police report. So, the reason why he came back to the adult industry, like most people when they do, is because he needed money. He needed money for a specific reason, and that reason was he is currently going through a court case over a minor. Nico, listen. I had to go through the details and look at the police report and also look at the actual news broadcast so that I could get the information. And I have what was behind the scenes ready to bring to the light here for you. Basically, Montel was working as a community coach, as in he would be contracted by the school to be a coach for their team. And from this point after a game, he offered to bring a female student home. Once he left campus and brought her to her home, he then began to engage with her inappropriately in front of her home and was seen by witnesses who said that he was disrobed. From there, he was then questioned by the cops, where he basically confessed that he did all the things he was accused of and was locked up and set up for bond. That is why he's currently returning to BlackBoyAddictionz to make money to basically fight his court case. He confessed to it on the body cam footage. There was eyewitnesses of him leaving the campus with the student, and they saw him in front of her house doing the deed. From there, BlackBoyAddictionz decided to bring him back as a special guest, and I can't necessarily put it all on the studio. Some people were saying that the owner of the studio knows him personally and that they're homeboys, so of course he knew about the scenario. But once again, I cannot just automatically say somebody saw a news report and immediately knew what was happening because one of their old stars decided to come back to the scene. Though when people were addressing what he did in the comments, BlackBoyAddictionz began to hide all of the comments, where first they posted the news article. They posted the police report. They said, this isn't right. Why are you platforming someone who willingly admitted to doing this crime? And they continuously hid and blocked the accounts that were saying these things. So from there, you know what's happening. And once again, that's not me saying that a studio has to completely scrap the work that they put into after they already filmed and basically promised it to the customer base. But what I'm saying is, rather than coming out and making a public statement saying we don't agree with what he did, this was filmed beforehand, rather than saying we are going to retract the scene, because once again, you can keep it up and just explain that this happened without your knowledge. But no, actively going out of your way to protect somebody who has actively harmed a minor, a child. I don't know what you want me to say. So at this point, we have to sit back and look at not only the performer, Montel, but we also have to look at the studio, because do you want to patron a studio who is actively platforming someone who has harmed the children within our own community? Seeing as how when it comes to these situations, it's usually brushed under the rug. The comments are hidden. We don't talk about it. We don't address it. But as a staple studio within the Black community, I feel like there should be certain lines that we can't cross. I don't care if it's your homeboy. I don't care if it's somebody that made you a lot of money in the past. If there's an active police report about him, if there is an actual confession from him and he's only coming back for his court fees, which you probably knew if you knew this person personally, why would you feel it responsible to put your own brand at risk to give him a platform so that y'all can make some money? At the end of the day, money is the root of all evil, but I don't think anybody is in that need of a quick payday that you would let your own morals slip that much. Because this isn't even a situation where it's a he said, she said. He was seen by multiple people leaving the event with her, going to her home, and admitted to it on a body cam footage. At a certain point, we have to draw the line, and that's where I draw the line. Same reason I don't platform Graylin Purnell. I'm probably going to do one final video about him because he's on his 8th teenager that he's got to tattoo his name across their face. That's why I don't talk about certain situations, just because after you put it out there and you let people know what's actually happening, from there it's up to them if they want to retract their support. So my question to y'all is, are you going to retract your support? Seeing as how BlackBoyAddictionz, they've been in the game for a good minute. They have a solid fan base. They have people who actively remember some of their models by name, by face, and have fond memories of the footage that they filmed. But if the company has gotten to the point where they don't even stand on their own morals, are you still going to give them your money? Are you still going to give them your views? Did you know about the scene coming back where he had a special guest appearance, or did you hear about the court case that followed it? Seeing as how the court case was active, the news was out, and they still chose to platform him. But with all that being said, I'm going to leave the conversation up to y'all, and I will see you guys next time. Boop. And now for a brief yet sincere shout out to this week's Third Eye Tier subscribers, Chemo and Maurice B. Your continued support is greatly appreciated, and thank you once again to everyone who supports the channel. We're almost at 44K girlies. And this lashing discussion will be over what have apps given you, be it learning lessons, long-lasting trauma, body dysmorphia, everything under the sun. If that sounds interesting to you and you need a place to vent, I'll definitely see you there.